The Couture 303 podcast with jayviper.
Today I'm in the Mode Studios with Garlands, Society, Radio City and Juice FM, Ibiza, Creamfields. He's done it all, he's been everywhere, he's done the lot, worked in record shops, bought and fucking wore the t-shirts. It's the one and only Mr. Les Calvert.
Jay, hello. Thank you for that introduction there.
Yeah, so we're fucking raw dogging it today, aren't we, Les? This hasn't turned out the best. We're not in the best of locations. It's pissing down outside. There's a forklift truck going. I haven't brought one of my microphone leads, so we're adapting.
But we learn to adapt. And here we are.
Here we are indeed. So thanks very much for doing, Les.
Thanks for asking me, Jay.
I really appreciate this. So we're going to go back to the very start. So obviously, where and when were you born, mate?
A long time ago, a long time ago. Black and white era, 1973.
Oh, fucking hell. I'm 75 myself, so yeah, go on.
Okay, so yeah, Old Swan.
Okay.
Lived in Old Swan all my life.
Yeah. Kids, brothers, sisters?
2 sisters, 1 brother.
Younger or older?
All younger.
All younger, yeah. So you're the...
I am.
The big boy in the family?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so what were your school life like?
School life was alright, you know, mate. Yeah. I wasn't a naughty kid. I hated school, though. Not going to lie about that. Yeah, once I got to the teenage years, I just didn't want to go. Yeah. Just didn't want to be there. Yeah. And I did everything possible to avoid going. Yeah. So I think it was first or second. So I went to St. Oswald's. Then senior school, I was in Cardinal Eden. Yeah. And I think it was once I reached senior school, I just didn't want to be there, so I tried everything possible to avoid going. So in first year seniors, I snapped my arm.
Purposely?
Well, not purposely, you know, but I used it to my advantage.
Yeah, of course.
Once that snapped my arm, I was like, right, okay, I need to use this as a way of not getting into school. So for a period of a good few months, I was at home and I had a home tutor then. Yeah. I was made up with that. So it meant I didn't have to go to school. Yeah. And then the following year, I jumped down the French block stairs in Cardalina. I remember I twisted my ankle, thought, okay, here we go again.
Few months off.
Another few months off school. So after that, mate, I just didn't want to be there. Yeah. Do I regret it now? Of course I do.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I see your points, but we had this discussion the other day. The schools, the education system, it teaches you how to conform. It doesn't teach you about life. It doesn't teach you the stuff. It doesn't teach you half the stuff you need to fucking know, to be honest with you. It teaches you, like I say, and I said verbatim the other day, there's only a select number of people who need to know chemistry and biology and stuff like that. But we all learn, and religious education is a real bugbear of mine, you know. It's drummed into you, you know, half an hour a week of something that you don't really need, and some people don't want, and a lot of people don't believe. So, you know, anyway, that's just my opinion. So, what was like your family like growing up, like music-wise? Was the music in the house?
Mate, music was in the house all the time. Music was in my veins from the moment I popped out my mum's room. Mate. Yeah. It was. I was obsessed with music from a young child. The earliest memory I've got is me sister was born a couple of years after me, and I must have been literally 4 or 5 years old. And I can remember asking my mum, she was born at home, my sister. I remember saying to my mum, can I play a song for her? Oh
my God.
So there's my instant memory of...
Face wanting to be a DJ?
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, music was always there. There were family parties, so music was always there. And I always wanted to be the one who was changing the record. So I think it was obvious everyone in the family knew I was going to be involved with music. Yeah? Yeah, so that there was that side of it. And then my uncle, he's no longer with us, sadly. But I was influenced by his music, definitely. That's why I do what I do today, is because of all his music. So
what kind of stuff was that?
It was mainly like disco and high energy. So we're talking like round about, I'm going to say 1983. No, actually, I'm going to say as early as 81, because I can remember being given a tape by him with all these songs on. And it wasn't like your modern day pop music. So when I look back at it, I was listening to club music from such an early age, but obviously not realising it at the time.
Yeah. Because that's it. Because a lot of the stuff you still play now, it's disco and funk orientated.
Yeah,
let's be honest, dance music, you know, the electronic scene all came from disco. I think a lot of people forget that.
Yeah.
So what other kind of stuff? And was your uncle, what about your parents? What kind of stuff are they listening to?
Right. So me mum, I suppose, was like into Fleetwood Mac, so that was there. You know, we had ABBA and all that, but yeah, that was sort of like the introduction to it. Then musically as a kid, I'm gonna take myself back to like, I'm gonna say about 78, and you know, getting given an ABBA album and buying a copy of Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, you know, mate. It was all obvious back then. I was just obsessed with this type of music. Yeah. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. So when did you make the transition to, obviously, from listening to music to starting to play yourself? When did you first start to show an interest in actually being a DJ, or did any of your mates have decks, or how did that kind of come about?
Right. Okay. So it all started, I'm going to say, about 1983. I was given this, once again goes back to my uncle, I was given this mixtape, and his friend was a DJ, and I never knew anything about you could play one song and then put another song after it. Yeah. And I had this tape, mate, I studied it like the Bible. I was just obsessed that you could play one song and then another one could come on after it. Yeah. But when I listen back, I've still got a copy of the tape. Back, the mixing was like, it was more just blending them one after the other. Yeah. So that's where I sort of connected and thought, you know what? I want to do that. Yeah, so that's going back in about 1983.
Wow.
And then that obsession just grew, and I was introduced to something called DMC. We had a DMC, Disco Mixing Club. So I suppose if we look at it now, it's like the modern day bootlegs, isn't it?
Of course,
that's what it was all about. It was like an exclusive club to be part of. And DMC used to put out these mega mixes, and obviously we're talking of the days before YouTube and any of this. So you did have, people had exclusive music back then. And I was lucky enough to get hold of some tapes with some of these mixes. Yeah. And I think that's how I learned to mix subliminally, is just by listening to the way tracks were being put together and the structure of them, and understanding like, oh, okay, so you listen to where the breaks are coming up, and you make sure the other track's out there. So that's where it all started, like that for me.
Yeah, so what about your first set of decks?
Ooh, that didn't come until, I'm going to say about early 90s, 93, 94. Yeah. So I was quite late. My mate had a set of decks.
Well, there you go. So what did he have?
So I was talking about Robbie Edwards. He had a set of, so he had a set of 1210s. Yeah. And I remember going to Robbie's, and Robbie saying to me, oh yeah, I've got decks here. And he was like, yeah, but you won't be able to mix on them. And I went on, what was the first thing I did? Was a great mix. And he was like, he was fuming.
So what were your first decks then?
Mine were actually a set of 1210s. Yeah. They were a second-hand set, and I had I had to save up for them. Yeah. And oh my God, mate, did I get my use out of those. Yeah. I've still got them. They're in here, believe it or not. Yeah, they're downstairs in the studio.
I went to Rob Kane's house about 5 or 6 weeks ago to do a podcast. Yeah. And I went into his studio, and he went, look around, do you recognise anything? I'm looking around, there's fucking music everywhere. Yeah. And I'm, no. And he went, my decks had sold to him like fucking 25 years ago.
Really?
Still had them, yeah. 1210. That's the fucking power of 1210s, mate, isn't it? Yeah. You know, they do last the test of time.
They do.
So I assume when you got your first decks, because Robbie had decks as well, you'd already started buying music, vinyl.
I've been buying music, mate. Music was being bought when I was in school. Yeah. I was like, giving me dinner money for school. Like shite, spending it on my dinner. I'd save it up to go.
Funny how you stay so fucking lean. Maybe I should have done that.
It was just saved up to spend on records. Yeah. That's all I was interested in.
And where were you buying your records back then?
HMV. There was a shop in town called Cheverton Records, and that's where they sold a lot of underground music, and obviously I didn't know much about it. I'd only heard songs on these tapes, so if I was looking through racks and I'd think, oh, there's the title of that song, that's how it relates to them. So I did get a couple of things out of Cheverton, but not many. Where else did I get them from in the early years? This is before the dance scene sort of exploded. So it was mainly like HMV and going to second-hand shops and you know, remember the 7-inch singles? We used to get jukebox singles.
Yeah, with no middle.
Yeah. So I'd stock up on them because you get like 3 for 50p. Yeah. So I had like this big collection of 7-inch singles because they were cheap and cheap, and it was just a way of getting more for me money.
That's it, man. When you first start buying vinyl, it's about getting a collection.
Definitely.
When you're at that stage, you'd rather have 20 shit tunes than 5 good ones, wouldn't you?
Absolutely right,
You'd have more, innit?
Yeah.
So obviously this is like early 90s now. When did you do your first gig or your first performance live?
First gig was about 1991 in the Coconut Grove.
The Coca, yeah. Sure of playing what? Like disco funk?
No. It was we're talking within the house here and now. Yeah. So it was like it was house music. It was like Italian house, and then there was like, you know, we moved on to the more techno-y side of stuff, as we called it. Then we called it bouncy techno back then, but it was all like Belgium house.
Yeah, so that's so here's the first time I ever crossed paths with you.
Go on.
I came into Groover Records. Okay. I'm a couple of years younger than you, so I must have been 18, 19. Yeah. And I came in to buy the latest Tricks tape or the latest Drone tape.
We sold a lot of them.
This tall guy comes up to me and I said, he's selling me the tapes, and I had them all. And he says to me, hey, I'll try this one, DJ Confusion.
Oh, wow.
He said, hang on, Les, hang on. He said, try this one, it's good. And I said, who is he? And he said, he plays all like drone and sick stuff. I went, yeah, sound, okay, took it home. And it was a decent tape. It was only a couple of weeks later I fucking realised it was you selling your own tape, but it was good. So how did that come about? That you obviously, we'll go back to the start of that. How did you start working in Groover?
Dave Graham asked me to come and join him there. Yeah.
And how did you know Dave?
How do we know Dave? Dave, I suppose just from being out and about on the scene, and like I was working in a shop before that called Backtracks, which was literally just around the corner. Yeah. So Dave just got to know him, and he asked me to go there. So I ended up going there and just being involved in as I say, music is where I've always been involved in one side or the other, whether it's DJing, whether it's the record shops or where I'm at now.
When you think about it, before the internet, before Facebook, before Instagram, before chat rooms, the record shop, that was the hub. That's where you went and got your flyers, you went and bought your tunes, you went and rubbed shoulders with other DJs, you'd speak to someone behind the counter and someone said, do you know who that's Dave Graham.
Definitely.
You know, it's
community.
You know, it's exactly, that's the word it was, a community, wasn't it?
It was a community spirit, and especially towards the ends of the week where, you know, I'll talk about when we were in 3B, then it was like, it'd be a Friday afternoon and we had bar upstairs, so people would sometimes go upstairs and get a bevy up there, then come back downstairs. What was good about the record shop days, as you say, you networked with people. And for me, standing behind the counter and actually selling the tunes, it was always great when we got something that had come in the shop, and like, you know, the job of someone who works in the record shop is to be able to spot those tunes and things.
And sell them on.
Yeah, definitely. So when I knew we had something big, it was like, it was such a big buzz when everyone had come. It was dead exciting, mate. It was dead exciting. And then there was the case of, you know, trying to look after everyone with the tunes and make sure they've got what was right.
Yeah. See, there was, again, I talked about this the other day. There was plenty of times where I've gone to a record shop, whether it be Groover, 3B, something like that, and he put it on, and he put, like, there was the little setups where you had the decks with the headphones, or if you were lucky enough to get served by somebody, and they put it on the big system.
Definitely.
And sometimes you felt obliged to buy it because they put it on loud for you, and you'd see the fella behind the counter and you think, this must be really good. I best buy this. And you take it home and go, I don't like it.
Me and Rob have discussed this in here a couple of times. Like, so obviously your job is to sell the music.
Of course,
okay, so we have to take the good with the bad. So there will be times when there'll be some tunes come in and like, you would have bought 50 of them and you get it. We'd listen to it after buying it. So how we would first listen to them we'd speak to the distributors on the phone, and they would play us the song on the phone.
Yeah.
So we had to make this judgment on like a small part of the song.
Yeah.
And then we get them in the shop and we go, they're fucking all made up, these tunes. And then we get it, we put it on, we go.
It's not that good, is it?
So what you started thinking at home, we were ahead of you. We thought the same, but we were like, shit, we've got these in the shop now. We've got to do everything possible to get rid of them.
I'd only bought one, you bought 50 of them.
Exactly.
So DJ Confusion, there was the tape I bought, and it was good.
Yeah.
There was some good sax on it. The one I always remember, there was Annihilating Rhythm by Ultrasonic. That was on there.
Yeah.
And you actually played in the drone.
So yes, so we're talking about this. This came after the Kogi.
Okay.
So the drone, Dave was working at the drone. Philly and Rusty at the time.
Yeah.
Dave left to go the 051.
Correct, yeah.
And the lads who were working in the drone asked if I wanted to come over.
Yeah.
So I went over there, and then Steve Parry went over there as well.
That's correct, yeah. So
we were just sort of playing over there, and I robbed this name off someone, mate. You know, the DJ Confusion.
Yeah?
It was a lad I used to know called Mock, and he used to come in, he went, yeah, I'm going to start DJing, I'm going to call myself DJ Confusion. I went, I like that, I'm robbing that.
So was that like, so obviously you were you DJing as Les Calvert before that? No. So the DJ Confusion was your first name?
I suppose so,
Okay. So after the drone and Guru, you went to move to 3 Beat?
Yeah.
Did you get headhunted, or was it a natural decision to go there? Or
no. I sort of, once again, I'd shopped in 3 Beat as a kid. Well, not a kid, as a young adult. 16, 18. Yeah, it is. So 3 Beat was in Liverpool Palace. Yeah. Not Liverpool Palace, sorry.
Wood Street?
What? No. We're going before then. Sorry, that's where I was working. 3 Beat was in Quiggins.
Okay, so this is before my time a little bit then.
Yeah, so 3 Beat started in Quiggins, and I remember going in there, and all the lads who worked in there, there was John, there was Phil, and there was Dave, and I used to get on with all of them, and like, they were doing the same to me, what you were talking about, you know, where they'd had some shit songs.
Yeah,
they'd have to work their magic on me with some, because I remember buying it and thinking,
you fucking owe me one now.
It sounded good then, but now I go home, come on lads, let's be honest, it's not that good, is it?
Fucking £8 for that.
Yeah, so the 3 Beat thing all started in Quiggins, and I got friendly with them there, but further down the line, I think it must be about, we're talking about 90, what year was it when I started 3 Beat? I'm going to say about 94. That's when I sort of went to work for them. And how that come about was, obviously I was in Groover first, and then Pez, who was the manager at 3 Beat at the time, got speaking to him, and I asked, was there anything available? And I went up there and joined. There was Pez, there was Rob, there was a big team in there.
And then 3 Beat had the record label, and then a spin-off label from that was Boss Records, which you ended up being the A&R manager, is that correct?
How do you know this?
Yeah,
You've done your research here, haven't you? You have, yeah.
How did that come about?
So I was working in the shop, and I was involved with all the buying, then I was dealing with the mail order side of stuff as well, but we were dealing with like proper iconic artists back then. So obviously Sasha, Digweed, Paul Oakenfold, and so I was speaking to Paul Oakenfold every week. Yeah. And he was getting records off me. He was going through a list what he was after, and I'd be saying, "Oh, we've got this in here. Do you want to hear that? Do you want a copy of this?" So I used to send him a batch of tunes down. But obviously there was a catch. I wasn't sending him a batch of tunes unless he'd send me something.
Of course, yeah.
So it wasn't just Paul who this happened with. This happened with a lot of the record labels, where I ended up developing a really, really close bond with them all. And like, I was always on the case to keep the shop ahead of its game with music. So I'd always be on the case saying, right, well, you got that promo coming in this week. Send us a box for the shop, will you?
Yeah. Just throw it in,
Yeah, and he did. He did, because they wanted some promotion on it.
I mean, I think back then, for me, I always had an affinity with Groover. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it was undeniable that 3 Beat was the shop.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
there's
definitely,
no, you know,
definitely.
with regards status and you know, and the size, obviously.
Reputation.
The record label as well, you know, it was absolutely huge. So from there, how did you end up, because you started off on Juice FM, and then you went to Radio City.
Yeah.
Is this kind of before or after 3Bs, or around the same time?
This is where everything started to change. So obviously, you spoke about Boss then. So
yes.
that was the next transition from working in the shop, was to go and work for the record label. So John, who owned 3Beat, kindly asked me, you know, do you want to be part of this new label we're setting up?
Yeah.
So this label was set up, he asked me to do it, and then we had to go down to Ministry. We were having like weekly A&R meetings, discussing tunes to sign, and you know, it just sort of progressed. Yeah.
Fantastic. So the radio side of things.
So that came next. So around, let's fast forward. Let's think from the. Siri's having a moment. Siri doesn't like it because
this is our new guest, Siri, by the way. He's just walked in the room.
Off, Siri, you can wait. So Juice FM. Okay, so Juice FM. That was my first introduction to radio. That probably came about because of me working in society at the time.
Yeah. Okay, so I wasn't sure of the timeline between the clubs, the radio. It's all a bit of a pickle, but we're talking like mid to late 90s now, aren't we? Everything kind of exploded.
We're in the early 2000s.
Early 2000s, yeah. So you were in society already?
I was, yes. Yeah. So society, let's say 2001. Okay. But before there, I was in the Gbar.
Yeah.
So we're talking like probably about 1999. So the next step there was society. Yeah. So started off in the Gbar where it was playing a lot more like trancey stuff, and then society was opening. And the guy who owned society also in the Gbar.
Okay.
So the residents who were in society at the time wanted another person to come along to do the warm up for them.
And who was the residents at the time? Was it Dave Wheeler and stuff like that?
It was Jimmy J and John Cotton at the time. Yes. So
Go on. John Cotton played in the Drome at one point as well, didn't he? Was he the MC?
John was an MC years ago.
Right, yeah, in the Drome, before Cyanide, John Cotton was,
that's right.
So you're just kind of following John round, aren't you?
All over the
on
place.
His coattails.
That's right, yeah. So, believe it or not, funny story to tell you about John.
Go on.
John was the first person to introduce me to a set of turntables.
There you go.
Yeah. That goes back to about 88, so... I'm a young teenager at this point, I can't go out.
Yeah.
And there used to be a kids' disco in Fallows in Aintree.
Yeah.
So we used to go there.
Yeah.
And he let me come behind the DJ box and it showed me the decks and like all his 12-inch singles are there, and I was just like, oh, this is it.
This is magic.
I've arrived. This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. So here's a question for you. How did you find the transition between vinyl to digital?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Couldn't embrace it any more if I tried.
See, I don't understand. I mean, you've given me the same answer as the majority of people have asked.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of purists out there. They've got this affinity to vinyl.
Yeah.
And I get it. Yeah. You know, it holds, you know, it used to hold value because you had the picture.
Yeah.
And it was 12 inches, it was big, and on both sides. And all that. But they used to warp and crack and fucking bend and get fluff on them and skip and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, mate, and especially if you went to a party, and after party, if
someone
you were off
spills
your cake
a fucking,
and then, not just that, mate. So the way I remember vinyl was like, if I'd been back in a party, go on, do a set, you do a set. Take it off. I can't be arsed putting that in its sleeve.
Do it on the couch.
Yeah. And then the following morning, you'd wake up and you'd have a stack of about 30 pieces of vinyl, none in the sleeves, and then ruins, just totally ruins.
Lagging on them, cocaine on them.
That's
fucking
it.
People,
everything possible.
Everything possible,
so
mate. What's your current home setup now then, DJ-wise?
All I've got at home now is just me Mac.
Yeah?
Oh, no, well, I've got a set of decks as well.
What decks are they?
I've got a couple of different options, just in case, but I don't go on them very often. No, so I've got a controller and I've got a set of 3000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What controller have you got?
Just the Pioneer 400.
Nice.
That's what I always recommend to my students.
100%.
I can't think of a better entry controller than a 400.
Yeah, the only thing that lets that down is the weight. If that was a little bit heavier, you could charge double for that.
Yeah.
Because it does everything.
It does,
It opens up record box for every option, and it's absolutely fantastic.
And it's compact to throw in the bag and take to a party if you need to.
Exactly,
But I believe it or not, I don't really mix at home.
No.
You've got to remember I'm in here of a day, so if I'm doing it of a day, going home of a night, it's like, I want to switch off. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to switch over now to music production. So how did you get... Because obviously you've had releases on Positiva, New Life, Ministry of Sound, stuff like that. And obviously you had your own, essentially your own record label with Boss.
Yeah.
How did you get into music production yourself? How did that come about?
Right, okay, so let's talk about the extravaganza thing first. So how that all happened, I was living in my nan's, with 1210s, and I was just making bootlegs on 2 pieces of vinyl.
Yeah.
So I made that started off as a Rejected EP, the thing you're talking about on Extravaganza. I can't get enough, which is Soul Searcher with another tune. So I went and made this mix, then recorded it onto a mini disc.
Love them. Absolutely fucking love mini discs, me.
Best format ever.
Oh my God.
So recorded this bootleg. And obviously, with being in the record shop, I had the contacts in the industry. So there was something called a P&D deal with some of the distributors. So they would press it and distribute it. And then you get a cut of it at the end. Laughing.
Yeah.
So made this bootleg, sent it off. They sent me back some test pressings of it. Sent it to Judge Jules.
Wow.
He played it on the radio the following week. And I was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe it was happening.
That's it.
Gave a copy to Lee Butler and a few others. And it just sort of blew up. Yeah. And like, they were selling loads of them at the distributor. And then I was in 3-beat at the time. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, this will show you how long ago it was. Then this fax. A fax.
There's people listening to this who won't know what the fuck we're talking about, you know.
I can tell you a funny tale about the fax machine. We'll get to that in a bit.
Go on.
So this fax landed from Defected Records.
Wow.
So saying, we're aware that you have pressed a copy of our acapella on top of another track. If you press any more copies of these, threaten you with legal action.
Yeah.
So I shit myself, of course.
But you don't realise at the time. That's fantastic, isn't it? You know, if they've heard about it.
I've still got it, you know. I've still got a copy of the fax at home somewhere. I keep saying I'm going to dig it out. I must get into the loft and find it. So I went, shit, I'm going to get in trouble here. Yeah. And it just sort of, it went quiet, but they carried on pressing them. I must have sold about a good few thousand of them. Yeah. Yeah. Oh so then from there, the release on Extravaganza. So I was pally with Alex Gold, who was the guy who run Extravaganza Records, and he was like, look, mate, I want to make this into an official release. You know, that's exactly what happened. He went and got it resung, spoke to Stewart, who was the guy who made the backing track from Apollo 440, and just put it out. Never got any fucking money from it, I'll tell you that. So but that was it. Yeah, so that was that side. Go on. Yeah.
So you'll have to excuse me, the timeline here. There was Resonance Q, then there was Chosen Few. Which came first?
Resonance Q. Now, there was something out there saying I was Resonance Q, and it was never me. That was just Mike.
Really?
Yeah, it was just Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chosen Few then. Chosen Few was yourself.
Chosen Few was me, Mike and Dave. Yeah.
And how did that come about? Was that just through working together in the shops and stuff like that?
Yeah, so that was like, how did that come about? It was through 3-beat, yeah. So it just, obviously Mike, at the time, the Scala was working in there, and he was the security guard.
Was he?
Yeah. Before we talked about the community where the shops get busy on a Friday, so the shop was notorious for being busy.
Yeah.
We didn't really have any trouble, but it could be a bit boisterous in there at times. So we had security guards in there just for Friday. Yeah. And Mike was brought in, and Mike was made up to be in a record shop. Once I got speaking to Mike. And
who knew at the time, eh?
No. So Mike was Mike used to go to the Drome all the time.
That's right, yeah.
So that's where he was obsessed with all that music. So he was coming in to me with these songs he was making, and he was just on a tape. He was saying, "Have a listen to that, Les." Yeah. And then he played me the Someday one. And I went, "You know what, Mike? You need to get these pressed on vinyl." Yeah. So I introduced them to the guy who pressed mine. Yeah. And sort of that's where it progressed from there. Yeah. Mike got them pressed, and yeah, he did all right out of them. But yeah, it was always just Mike, the Resonance Q stuff.
There you go. Just shows you the internet can fail you sometimes.
Exactly, and then you've got the BCD connection. Yeah, which was me, Mike, and Lee. Okay, so Butler Calvert to Scarlett. That's what it's for.
Okay, well that makes sense now, doesn't it? Yeah, now you say it like that. Yeah, yeah. And how many releases did you have on them?
Lost count.
Yeah.
Lost count.
But again, it was predominantly like kind of bootlegs that you hashed yourselves, yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, Mike was the genius behind everything. Yeah. Let's not deny that. Yeah. Mike was destined for success.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything he fucking can't do? Right. Do you know what I mean? He can even fucking sings as well, doesn't he? Unbelievable.
So unbelievable. So he obviously made the Pretty Green Eyes thing. So once he'd made that demo, I took him up to a record label called All Around the World. Yeah. Took him up there, introduced Mike to the lads, Scott and Chris, played them the track. They were blown away with it. Yeah. And they signed it right there and then for him. Yeah.
Wow. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah, yeah.
I spoke to Ian Redman the other day. Oh, yeah. I remember Ian Redman. I don't want to go into too much because we'll talk about it on his podcast, but the first time I met Ian Redman, he was working in plastic records. He was a kid. I think he was 17, little rosy cheeks and all that. And I got introduced to him, and we were chatting, and I think the Millennium, 1999, 2000. He was in my house on New Year's Eve, and then we just kind of drifted apart. And the next thing, he's on fucking Top of the Pops. I sat there with my ex, and I went, "That's Ian." And she went, "It's not." Oh, it fucking is. Top of the Pops with Victor Scarlett and Chris Henry and, you know, all the dancers and all that. Yeah. Yeah, Pretty Green Eyes and on fucking Top of the Pops. Absolute madness. So we're sat here today in one of the Mode studios. So you are a health and well-being ambassador in Mode, is that correct?
I am, yeah.
And what does that entail? And how did you get involved in Mode?
Oh my God. So let's rewind to Groover here.
Okay, wow. Okay,
that's how far back this connection goes here. So I was doing an MVQ in retail, and I was involved with the director from here at the time. She was working at a place called JCP. That's who I was doing the MVQ with. And I just sort of became friends with this lady here, Debbie, who owns Mode now. So that happened. Put a big gap of 20 years plus. Literally that long. And then when I was working in Garlands, I got this tweet on Twitter saying, nice to see you doing well, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to come down and have a look at what I'm doing here? And then I went down, and then I just started helping out there. This is going back about 10 years now. Yeah, yeah. Started doing a day a week in there, just helping the kids with the DJing.
And to those who don't know, can you just explain what Mode is?
So, Mode is a variety of things, to be honest. So, we're a training provider. But it's not just music here that we're delivering, you know. There's hairdressing, there's business as well. But I'm based in the music department.
Yeah, as you that makes more sense. I mean, looking at your hair, you probably wouldn't be in the hair department. Sorry to that.
Mate, I popped over there for a trim a few times, believe it or not. I've been the guinea pig. Yeah. But you know what? They do a good job. They're having a go.
My fiance's one of her good mates, works over there, Zara.
Yeah.
She's a trainer for the hairdressing side of things. Yeah, so what kind of music stuff do you teach here? Is it music production, DJing, bit of both?
Both. Yeah. It's absolutely both, yeah. So I'm a qualified assessor here, so obviously help deliver with the programme. I'm here full time now. Yeah. This is where I'm at now. Job, yeah. So it's just a case of helping the kids. But we work with people from as young as 8 up to, I'm going to say 50 plus. Yeah. So it's quite a broad range that we've worked with, from the privates to the lads who are on the course as well. But it's amazing to be part of this. You know, if you look at the transition from me working in record shops to DJing to now
full circle,
helping, mate. I'm just thankful that I can pass on my advice and experience.
Yeah. So, I'm going to put you on the spot then. I'm going to put you right on the spot now. I've been doing these this is my 9th podcast now. What advice would you give to me? Constructive criticism.
advice to you as a DJ?
For doing the podcasts?
Okay. Don't fucking give up.
Yeah.
If you believe in it and you're passionate about it, just give it your all. You've got so much support out there now. You know, when we were young, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have any of that. You've got to go out and you have got to network. If you don't network and get yourself known, you ain't going anywhere. You know, there are some people out there who are extremely talented, but if you don't put yourself and mix in the right circles, you don't get anywhere. I wouldn't be where I am now if I didn't start mixing in the right circles years ago.
Likewise, I've never met you. I've met from record shop interactions. If I hadn't put myself out there and thought, you know what, I'll ask Les, I'll ask her. And here we are,
Here we are.
And I am very, very grateful for that. So the mode training, is it like a syllabus? Or do you just kind of, is it catered for each individual person, or how's that work?
No, it's a course that we follow. So we do a level 2 in music technology, level 1, level 2. And it's just a course that we follow. We have a 4-week course, then a 12-week course. And just the lads come in here. It's not just DJing side, it's the production side as well. So it's been amazing to see some of them come through, and especially when you see them out there and some of them are reaching good heights, you know.
So any success stories? Anyone off the top of your head who's really broke through?
You know, we've had quite a few who are coming through here who are DJing around town, and like, let's think. So we've got a girl called Caitlin who's she's doing amazing. You know, she's out in Ibiza all the time. She's playing for Sankeys. She's playing for Elro. She's doing live broadcasts for Elro. And then if we look locally, people like Amelia Preston, Vinny Spear, Mick Gore, DJs. Who else? Who is there? There's Casey. There's been loads who are coming through here, and it's boss to see.
I was going to say that must be a real. Like a proud moment, you know. These kids have walked in not knowing, you know, very little or if anything at all about music production, whatever, DJing. You've nurtured them. They've come into their own. They've got their own ideas, and you're seeing them expand. Like that must be fantastic.
It is, mate. It is, and this is where I feel I belong now. You know, I can't do the late nights no more. I want to hand that baton over to the kids to do. You know, I've had a boss time doing that.
So on that note, what would you say your standout gigs were with DJing? Because you've been everywhere. You've been to like Ibiza and stuff, haven't you? You go to Miami as well. You go to do some networking in Miami.
So some crazy things in Miami happen. Trust me.
Are they for off the record? Are they?
No. Just so me, Mike, and Dave were out. We went out to Ibiza like about. Must have gone out there for about 3 years consecutively. All expenses paid through the record label to all around the world. So we went and, you know, we milked it dry for everything that we could, you know. Food everywhere, drinks everywhere. And obviously we'd get in some states back then. And there was this time where we all had our separate rooms and we must have been out to some sort of day party, all gone home, completely bladdered, gone our separate ways. And I've been in my room and I've got up to go for a piss. Thought I'd gone into the bathroom and I've gone out into the hallway with nothing on. So I had nothing on, but I was all blurry and I went banging on Dave Whelan's room. I went, have you got my key? have you got my key? And he was like, laughing with his head off. Mate, I had to go down to reception with nothing on, just covered up to get another key. So there were some crazy times in Miami. But boss, really good. But a standout gigs, mate, just Ibiza.
It's a different level, I suppose. I've never been, to be honest with you.
Okay, I spent 10 years out there. Wow. Mate, it was hard graft, you know. It was really hard. People sometimes look at it and think, what a life of luxury, but they don't realise what lies beneath that to get to them gigs. So, like, there was a time on a Saturday where I'd be getting up Saturday morning, I'd do Radio City in the evening, Then from there, I go straight to Garlands. Then from Garlands, it was straight into a car, going to Leeds Bradford Airport, fly to Ibiza, get 2 hours sleep, go and do a boat party, get another couple of hours sleep, go and do the club all night, and then back on the plane at 10 in the morning. It wasn't easy, mate.
That's it. And the thing as well, people use the word luck sometimes. Oh yeah, someone's been lucky, someone's had a lucky break. Luck's got fuck all to do with it. No, if you're putting yourself out there, and like you say, the networking side of things, it's not just the actual performing, it's the networking as well, it's putting the hours in. Got, you know, being up when you don't want to be up, speaking to people you don't really want to speak to, getting yourself out there, getting your name heard so you're seen everywhere. There's no, you make your own luck. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
If you put the hours in, like you guys clearly have, there's nothing. It's not. Luck's got fucking nothing to do with it. If you're not doing the right thing and being in the right place at the right time, then luck wouldn't come into it. You don't wake up one morning and look, I've won, £2 million. You've got to put that money on the lottery to win that money. There's a certain amount of luck, but you've got to make your own luck, and you guys have.
Yeah.
All power to you. So we're going to finish off now, Les.
Go on. Is this where you're going to get me good and proper now?
With some quick fire questions. Les Calvert, I'm going to accept your first answer and your first answer only. Ice cream or custard?
Custard.
Gremlins or Ghostbusters?
Gremlins, it's got to be.
Little Mix or the Spice Girls?
Or Spice Girls all the way.
What's the last expensive item you bought yourself?
Set of 3000s.
Oof. Rocky 3 or Rocky 4?
Neither, I hated it.
Last movie you seen on the cinema?
What did I go to see on the cinema? Oh, it was a piece of shite with the granddaughter. God, it was that bad, I can't even remember the name. She hated it, she walked out before me.
Really?
Yeah, there was something in the showcase, mate. I can't even remember, it was only last year. It was like a low budget thing, but she chose it. But yeah, good. That's
okay. Did it have a big tree in it by any chance?
What?
Did it have a big tree in
it?
It
did, yeah.
I seen that. How did I know what you were on about then?
It was
shite.
The colour scheme of it was like brown acorns.
It was absolutely shite. Oh my God.
What was it called?
I don't know.
Shit, that's what it was called.
What are the chances of that? Anyway, sorry, we digress.
At least there's a connection.
Yeah. Pizza or burger?
Oh, can I have both? Pizza.
DJing or producing?
DJ.
Proudest moment as an adult?
As an adult, kid being born, obviously. Yeah.
If you could go back to being 18 and say one thing to yourself, what would it be?
Fucking hell. What would I say to myself?
That's a good one, isn't it?
Just put the graft in and enjoy it. Yeah.
Bullseye or catchphrase?
Catchphrase.
Best movie soundtrack?
Best movie soundtrack? Well, you know what that is, surely. It's Grease.
Me missus said Dirty Dancing. It's going to be one or the other. And the last one, vinyl or digital?
Digital.
All day. Right, so what have you got coming up then, Les? We'll finish off with that.
Just what's coming up right now? Just still gigging. Still out every weekend.
Yeah.
Every single weekend, mate. But just not late.
Yeah.
I just working weekly.
Yeah.
Late, it's gone.
Yeah.
I physically can't do it, mate. And lockdown definitely brought that on a lot more.
So how was lockdown for you then?
Lockdown? I fucking love lockdown.
You know what? Everyone said that, mate.
I absolutely adored lockdown.
Yeah.
I know I had to be careful saying it at the time. I was fucking like a pig in shit, not leaving the house, just made up.
Yeah.
So that changed everything. I obviously just the late nights they don't work with me no more.
Yeah.
And you know what? I am still gigging. I'm still out in Modo every single weekend, but I'm done by 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. So it's like, hello.
Yeah.
But then there's still, I'm still got gigs coming up. There's like Big Love, and then there's other bits that are there as well. So yeah.
You do Reminisce this year?
Yeah. Yeah, this year, yeah.
Okay, so if anyone wants to book Les Calvert, by the way, the details will be in the description below, but make sure your bookings are finished before 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm available until 8 o'clock in the evening.
He needs his pipe and slippers. Les, thank you very much.
Jay,
I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The Couture 303 Podcast. with jayviper.